And we are back, folks, for another edition of the Michigan Football Film Study focused on the offense with Al Borges. Always great to catch up with gorgeous Al Borges.
But particularly great this week, Sam, because we're talking about not a win, but a big win.
Yeah,
Okay.
big win. A big win. Hey, man, a complete performance by this offense. I started to think that we wouldn't see this, that we wouldn't see a rushing performance like this by this offense this season. And here we are, Al Borges, and just in time for Ohio State. I wondered if this offensive line was capable of this type of performance.
Mhm.
Without Alex Orji behind center to sort of help balance the offensive box, if you will. And yet they were able to accomplish an imposing rushing performance without the +1
Mhm.
equation back there, and that was really, really good to see, Coach Borges.
But that said, that's exactly right. They did add a little bit to their run control RPO game. Not a little bit, a lot. Now that I think about it, I mean, and that helped. And not necessarily always tossing it out there, although they did that a couple times, but spreading the offense enough and making them respect the perimeter to help open up those inside running lanes. So they had an answer. This time it was an orgy, but they did have an answer.
Yeah, so, good to see, gives Ohio State a few wrinkles to prepare for that are different than what Ohio State had been looking at all season. So,
Mhm.
this is, you got the things that you look at like you used to do when you coached at Michigan. There are
Mhm.
things that you look at all year long for Ohio State,
Mhm.
just like Ohio State looks at all year long for Michigan. And here are a few sprinkles that Michigan just tosses in the
Mhm.
week of the game, right? That you got to look
Mhm.
at if you're Ohio State. Now, not like Michigan has a whole lot talent wise that maybe scares them, but these are definitely some things that they got to look at on film that makes things a little interesting for them, right?
Yeah, and I think it helped them, and they could develop them some more. They got a game, maybe two games left, but they can develop 'em a little bit, maybe build off some of the things that they did in this game. So, um, it's Michigan, Ohio State, and we all know that all bets are off in this game. And I know everybody's Ohio State's going to. I've heard that before. Okay, but when you tee it up and there's that matchup, a lot of things happen that you don't anticipate. Some good, some bad, but it's usually not. It doesn't follow what happened the entire season. I'll just say that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And so we will break it down. We will tell you about some of the wrinkles that
Mhm.
emerged in this game. We will talk about the performance of the quarterback, Davis Warren. We saw some improvement that there was the technical improvement, but then there's the piece of it that I like to call because you got to coach intestinal fortitude some too as a coach,
Mhm.
Coach Borges,
Absolutely huge
right?
in
You
that
got
position. Yeah.
yeah, you got to coach that, and I thought we saw to go from the interception, which part of it was him, and the part of it was the pressure that came.
Yeah, we're gonna show that too. We're gonna show that, but yeah, I agree with you. I think the thing I liked about him is I don't think that much got to him in this game. And you mentioned the pick because he could have gone south on the pick. He hadn't thrown a pick in a while, okay, but he threw that one, and we're gonna give you a few reasons possibly why. But he didn't really let it rattle him, and the run game was solid enough to where it could get him back into the game, particularly in the second half. Sam, they started strong with the first drive and finished strong with the last drive of the first drive. But this first drive of the second half was a insert zone clinic for three straight plays, and they were very successful, and it resulted in a touchdown. And I think that helped the quarterback. I really do because I think once he comfortable knowing that the defense was doing a great job and that the offense was being productive. You start feeling your oats a little bit, start playing better. And I think he had his most solid performance of the season.
Yeah, and he to me, after the pick, the 2-minute drill. The
Mm-hmm.
2-minute drill
Was impressive.
was that was to me the intestinal
Yeah.
fortitude
Yep.
sort of
Yep.
moment where he kinda showed, okay,
Yep.
I'm comfortable and I'm I'm showing the improvement from the Indiana game where it was questionable
Mm-hmm.
to this week where I'm improved.
Right.
I've bounced back. So that was really,
Right.
really good to see.
And one thing I want to point out, Sam, we talked about this off air, but I think the tendency when this happens is to minimize the effort because it's Northwestern. They're not very good. Northwestern's a very formidable defensive football team, and their numbers would bear that out. They have played very salty defense all year. They are not a good offensive team, but they are a pretty good defensive team. So they weren't doing it against Molly Putts out there. They were moving the ball on a team that has stopped some people. So credit to them making some progress from one week to the next, dealing with some of the things that were weaknesses in other games. For example, the games, the line charge variations, the twists and such. They seem to handle that better. Their targeting was better in terms of who to block, how to block them. I mean, again, as I say, that Davis has probably played his best game, but the offensive line probably played their best game also.
Mhm. Very, very good to see. We will break it down in great detail on this offensive film study, as you know by now, available exclusively here on the Autograph app. Again, our friends at Autograph rewarding you for what you do already, being a fan. And if you are enjoying this Autograph experience, then you know it's not just enjoying these film studies, it's also enjoying reading your favorite blogs, your favorite free blogs, enjoying your favorite free podcasts. And then as you do these things, you're accruing points, and then you can redeem these points for rewards like, oh, I don't know, access to exclusive events and tickets to great events that you might want to go to. These are all great concepts that our friend Tom Brady and the folks at Autograph came up with for rewarding you for your loyalty as fans. It doesn't get any better than that, folks.
That's
Again,
not done, Sam.
these are the perks that come
As good as it gets, Sam.
with
Doggone
Autograph.
it.
All right. So Al Borges, let's jump right on in and get with the first play in this week's film study. It is a show play, and we told you, and you know this, being a coach for as long as you have, coaches are nothing if not copycats.
Mm-hmm.
We know from watching the Indiana game that Michigan had trouble handling movement. Twists were,
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they were the name of the game against Indiana. They had a lot of success getting home, and so you had to figure that
They're gonna test the
Northwestern
waters. Yeah, they're gonna test the waters. And you're right, Sam. There's no patent on defenses or offense. You can't put a patent on them. So that means anybody can steal them. Anybody can steal and they do. They're constantly from the pros, from other college teams, maybe even from a high school team. There's a good scheme. Somebody may steal that. So let's watch. This play was interesting, good and bad. Bad probably at the end because it didn't get much. I did not like Donovan's read on this. He should have pressed this more to the A gap, but I did like the right side's ability to handle this movement because it is the same movement or one of the same movements that he had to deal with or they had to deal with a week ago against Indiana. This is a TE, okay? But I want you to watch. It's good, Sam. Beautiful. He's nice and slow. How Lincoln Alhadi handle it. The TE now you can see. Link, I think, kind of smelled a rat because the end was kind of light on his hand. And by that, I mean he wasn't really wound real tight. So he suspected that something might be up. So rather than step with his outside foot and commit to that 5 technique, he stepped with his inside foot and checked it out. So what he did is he went shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip with El Hadi, and now it's easier to pick up those movements. The 3 technique moved right to him. Okay, the 5 wrapped around, and they just easily exchanged the movement, just like you could have done a week ago. But so often they were committing to that technique with outside footwork, and they were getting picked off. Now this one here, I really thought I had a chance. I think this was Donovan against the free safety had he just pressed the hole. Press the A gap until you can. So keep going. Don't be too quick to go back because you didn't move the defense well enough. You can see the problems. The line thinking everything's hitting to the right, and he's cutting back prematurely. But you can see, and you can really see this on the end zone if you had an all 22. There is a hole, and it's just Donovan and the free safety. And I've seen him win that more than once. Okay. So this is progress. This is definite progress, even though the play isn't very damn good. I'm first going to tell you that. But you got the right guard, right tackle actually look like they know what they're doing. They've seen it before. They've experienced it, and they've corrected that error. So good and bad, but I thought it was a compelling play based on what had happened a week ago.
Yeah, that's one where the play didn't go anywhere. If you watched it, you're like, "Oh, doggone it. That's a bad play, bad call," and the
Not because
line
of the
screwed
line.
it up.
Not because of the line. That's right, Sam. Not
Yeah,
because of the line. This
not
is
'cause of the
poorly
line.
read. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's on the back.
Yeah. Now, see, whenever the guys next to you, I'm going to just take a second to explain this. The center and the right guard were zoning to that linebacker. Okay. And the right tackle now, he has what I call a dealer's choice, means he could step with either foot based on what he thinks the guy over him's doing. If the guy over him's going to stay outside, he'll step and right at his outside breastplate with his outside foot and try and stretch that guy wide and just kick him wide so there's a hole in there. But if he thinks that guy's going to do something, he smells a rat, says, yeah, might be a little action going on there. He can now step with his inside foot and basically zone with that guard and be able to easily make the exchange if there's some kind of ET or TE.
Folks, if you want to watch the rest of this film study, all you have to do is download the Autograph app. It is available for free on Android and iOS. All you have to do is scan this QR code that is available on your screen right now. Just scan it. Very easy to do. Or you can type in this URL, link.ag.fan/SamWebb. Again, that is link.ag.fan/SamWebb. And go ahead and get started on Autograph. Again, it is free. And one of the great things about Autograph, you enjoy these film studies, again, available for free. You enjoy your favorite free podcasts dedicated to Michigan, your favorite free blogs that are dedicated to Michigan. And as you are doing these free things,
it's a lot of frees, Sam. It's a
that's
lot. You
right.
said free probably 5 times.
I sure did. You're doing these favorite free things
Free.
dedicated to Michigan. You are
Favorite
accruing
price.
points. And as you build up these points, you are
I like
able to
points and I like
redeem
free.
them for rewards like access to exclusive events, tickets, all these great perks that reward you for your fandom, your loyalty as great Michigan fans. That is the great thing about Autograph. So go ahead and get started today.